Hey, remember last summer, relaxing with a tall, cold beverage in your hand as you lay back anticipating the scrumptious aromas coming from the barbecue just a few feet away and taking in some of Northern Virginia's most beautiful vistas while listening to live music? Too bad we can't do all that this year. Or can we? You know, not too far away in Loudoun County's Bluemont, Virginia, you'll come across the Bear Chase Brewery. And with protocols in place, all of this is possible right now. We'd like to welcome right now the general manager of Bear Chase, Mr. Chris Suarez. Bear Chase Brewery became very popular very quickly. It must be all about the beer.
I think it's because we have a approachable, clean, and delicious beer. What makes it different is we have a large variety, and we don't pigeonhole ourselves to a style or a certain type of beer. And we really have the ability to have a large selection. We currently have about 18 beers on draft, and they range anywhere from a late lager to a double imperial stout. And so we really have a nice spectrum of beers. So we have something everyone can enjoy.
Now, our company, Van Meter Homes, has had several events at Bear Chase, and I know there's a lot of things to do there, and I was really, really impressed when I was looking on the website at your calendar of events. Even in the summertime of 2020, there still seems to be a whole lot going on besides beer drinking out at Bear Chase. Can you tell us what will one find out at on the grounds of Bear Chase Brewery?
Well, we have throughout the property. We have, especially if you come on the weekends, we have a large area. So we have multiple serving locations. We have Porter John spread out, and then we have, as far as entertainment goes, we always have music on from Thursday night through Sunday night now. That's something we've added an additional night for Thursdays, and then we have food trucks available. We have food open from inside our facility, and then also we have AT Eats. Rescue barbecues here on Wednesdays. And so on top of that, you have a great amount so we have beer, wine, cider, and then you have a great selection of food, and then great entertainment. We do bingo on Tuesdays. Bingo on Wednesdays and trivia on Tuesdays. Sorry about that, guys. I almost messed that one up. But yeah, so we try to have something going on at all times. And we work with different organizations to have events out here as well. Like you said, with Van Meter, we always want to try to have something going on.
And we assume there are protocols in place to make sure everyone's having a good time, relaxing safely.
Absolutely. So a lot of things, Bear Chase has taken a lot of precautions into COVID, coming back out of it, phase 1 through 3, and now we're in phase 3 now. And we started off in phase 1, we were party groups, smaller 10. We had 15 feet in between each party, so we have plenty of space. As I mentioned earlier, we opened up additional serving locations, so we don't have any clusters or any grouping, any really long lines that we can control. And so with that being spread out, with it being the Porta Johns, as different serving locations, we also have sanitation everywhere throughout the property. All of our servers, all of our bartenders and staff wear masks. On top of that, we have sanitation stations at all the serving locations as well. So after you touch the keypad to sign your check, we can sanitize it down every time. So that you have a fresh, clean, sanitized touch tablet to touch and order from. And then we clean and sanitize all high touch points. We keep the doors open for our tasting rooms, so you're not opening doors every day. And we go through the bathrooms and sanitize all those high touch areas with every hour. We just continue to go around and do that.
What was the first craft beer y'all did? What started this whole thing?
Yeah, so we came out when we first started brewing our beers for Bear Chase in early 2018. We had a little pilot system, and we were trying to get that up and running, just testing some out. Our first one we actually ever did was called Kodiak Kolsch. It was a very light ale, clean and crisp. And right after that one, we came out with High Point Helles, which is a Helles lager. So those were two beers that we first came out with at Bear Chase. We really enjoyed Hypoint Hellas a little bit more than we enjoyed the Kodiak Kolsch, and that really became our staple. That we one of our staple top 5 beers that we actually produce now. And since then, we've came out with Mr. Pink and Mr. Blonde. Those are also nice light beers, which there is a little bit a reference to a movie there, if you are a fan of different movies. But it's a tart cherry blonde ale and just a blonde ale. With those 5 beers those 4 beers I mentioned, we really wanted to come out with, like I said, we always wanted to be rounded out. And so we came out with Misty Mountain hops. So those were our first 5 beers that we really ever produced. And we had a great time with doing those. But Kodiak Kolsch really fell off, but then we really picked back up. We started doing that one for the first time this summer.
Bear Chase is so vast. There's so much land. It looks like a working farm. How does this play into the beer making process?
We are a farm, winery, brewery, and cidery. And so with that, we do have a lease of land in Winchester for our apple cider. And we have produced about 10 gallons of that so far in small batches. We're trying to home tune our cider skills. But that is made from the leased property. But on site, we actually are still all of our trees and our hop vines are still very young. We're hoping maybe this fall we might be able to do a small batch of beer from our hops, do a wet batch. We're hoping to see how the yield is. They're looking better than they were last year.
My family's originally from the Shenandoah Valley, and it was quite an event several decades ago when Coors Beer decided we're going to move, not move from Colorado. They're still very much there, but they did build a brewery in the Shenandoah Valley strictly because of the water situation there in the Blue Ridge Mountains. And up until then, you couldn't get Coors Beer in the East Coast. It's unpasteurized. But now we can do that. Apparently, water is a real big deal.
Yeah. And Ernie, you're actually 100% correct. So one of the things benefits of, I always forget about it because I'm so used to it, is our well water. And so that is something we do get off from our property. We're not on public water or anything like that. So all the beer we make at Bear Chase is from our own wells. And so we're getting that ourselves. With being well water, it's such high mineral content, and for a beer, it's a really great thing. And so that's what we really enjoy, and be able to have that come out. I think that's one of the benefits maybe of why the beer is so tasty. It's such a great water source that we have. It's not polluted or chlorinated or anything else that city waters, and then most breweries will actually have to try to balance that back out and to add minerals back into the water because the city takes it back out. So much of it out, so we're able to not have to go through that step and keep it real clean.
I have to ask you, do you think of yourself ever as perhaps a cook or maybe an artist? It seems like there's balances in here in the way your beers are made that are quite important.
Oh, absolutely. Charles, I definitely recommend. I always kind of say brewers are chefs. I worked in the restaurant world for a very long time. Got to know some very talented chefs, and now working in the brewery side of things, getting to know Charles and many other brewers as well. They are very chef-like. They have their vision. They see what they want. They really put their flavor into it and their passion behind it. It's anywhere that you have a job, you can have a passionate individual behind it. I think the quality just is always going to be more there.
So, Chris, let's say me and some friends are going to plan our weekend, and we think, hey, Bear Chase sounds like the place we want to be. The weather is looking good. How would someone make the most out of their visit to Bear Chase Brewery?
Come with a empty stomach, come with a thirsty palate, and come to enjoy the time. I always say we have such a large venue. You can start in the tasting room, sit one area, have a beer, go sit in the fire pits, check out the bear cave, go sit down by the orchard, and continue to move around. We have so much space out here. You can really enjoy it, and being able to relax, get away from the city and into the country.
Chris Suarez, General Manager of Bear Chase Brewing Company, thank you for being with us today.